Okay, let's dive into the wild, fast-moving world of AI. It feels like this one massive, confusing story, right? But here's the secret. It's not. That's the key right there. The future of AI isn't being fought as a single war. It's actually a conflict happening on three totally distinct fronts, all at the same time. And once you see it this way, all the crazy headlines from this week, they suddenly just click into place. So here's how we're going to break it all down. We're going to look at front number one, the interface. That's all about how we actually use AI. Then, front number two, the ideology, which is basically a fight for its soul. And finally, front number three, the foundation, the battle over the silicon and the software that makes it all run. Then we'll zoom out and map the whole battlefield. All right, let's jump into front number one, the interface. This is the race to own that top layer, the place where you and I actually get things done with AI. And a brand new player just stormed onto the field with a completely different playbook. Alibaba just rolled out its new AI, and it's built entirely around this idea of a transaction-first AI. So forget about just having a nice chat. This thing is designed from the ground up to execute complex, real-world tasks. It's an AI that does stuff. And this is what's so fascinating. In the West, if you look at models like ChatGPT or Claude, the conversation is the product. We talk to it, it talks back. But with Alibaba's new AI, this Chenwen Xiaowo, the action is the product. The whole point is to get things done. And how does it do things? Well, check this out. It's deeply woven into Alibaba's entire universe from day one. At launch, it can already order stuff for you on Taobao, handle your payments on Alipay, book your trip on Fliggy, and even call you a car on AMAP, all from a single conversation. But this is just the beginning. If you peek at their recent trademark filings, you can see this wild three-step plan. It starts as a digital human, then moves to offering its skills as a service for other businesses. And it ends with, get this, humanoid robots. They're literally planning to take this AI off the screen and put it into the physical world. So here's the bottom line for this front. The battle for the AI interface isn't just about who makes the best chatbot. It's about who builds the ultimate get-things-done engine for your life. And Alibaba just completely redefined the rules of that fight. Now for our second front, the ideology. This one isn't about code or commerce, nope. This is a fight for the very soul of AI, and it is about to get very, very public in a courtroom. The trial between Elon Musk and OpenAI is just 5 days away from jury selection, and the numbers here are just mind-boggling. We're talking about a company with a valuation in the stratosphere, facing a massive damages claim. This is shaping up to be one of the biggest, most important corporate trials in the history of tech. But this isn't just about the money. Oh no, it's personal. This is a quote from a handwritten diary entry by OpenAI co-founder Greg Brockman, all the way back in 2017. He admits that turning into a for-profit company without Musk would be a lie and morally bankrupt. Just imagine that note being read aloud to a jury. And this slide just perfectly lays out the entire conflict. OpenAI started with this noble mission, a nonprofit for all of humanity, with Musk's money helping get it off the ground. Now, it's a for-profit juggernaut, fueled by Microsoft, aiming for an IPO that could be worth $1 trillion. Musk's team is even calling their damages claim a Robin Hood move, saying any money they win goes straight to charity. So why should we all care? Because here's the kicker. No matter who wins, this trial could trigger the biggest transparency event in OpenAI's history. Once that jury is picked, every internal document, from Sam Altman's emails to Satya Nadella's text messages, becomes part of the public record. Okay, that brings us to our third and final front, the foundation. This is the battle happening way down in the engine room, a fight for the chips and the code that make everything else we just talked about even possible. And our way into this story starts with a little mystery. Why is arguably the most anticipated open-source AI model of the year late again? The answer pulls back the curtain on a massive geopolitical and tech struggle. Honestly, the best way to understand this is as a classic empire versus rebellion story. You've got the empire, NVIDIA's CUDA software. It's dominant, it's established, it powers basically the entire AI boom. And then you have the rebellion, Huawei's CAN. This is China's answer to CUDA, and it is about to face its first real test on a massive scale. So the DeepSeek team has now delayed their model a third time, and it's because they're migrating everything over to brand new, more powerful Huawei chips. That means they're rewriting all the code to work with Huawei's CAN software. This isn't just a technical problem. A successful launch on Chinese hardware and software, especially ahead of a potential Trump Xi summit, would be a huge statement of sovereign AI power. And that is the real takeaway here. The DeepSeek model is just the test case. The real story is the software. If Huawei's CAN can prove it can run a top-tier model, then NVIDIA's software moat, the very key to its absolute dominance of the market, suddenly has its first ever credible challenger. So, wow, we've covered the interface, the ideology, and the foundation. Let's pull the camera all the way back now and look at the entire battlefield on a single map. This one slide sums the whole thing up. On the interface front, you've got this battle of conversation versus transaction, and the prize is owning the front door to AI for every user. On the ideology front, it's a conflict between mission and profit, and that's going to decide the very control and purpose of AI. And then, down at the foundation, it's the software war, CUDA versus CAN, with nothing less than sovereign AI infrastructure hanging in the balance. 3 distinct wars, all happening right now, and each one has the power to totally shape our future. The real question is, which of these fronts, the way we use AI, the reason it even exists, or the tech it's built on, will be the one that truly decides what comes next?